got the bloodlust.
Me too.
I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 305 of the program.
What was that?
305 of the program. Tonight we're going to be talking about Exit 8, based on a popular video game called The Exit 8. My name is Amy. I am your fearless leader. Joined, as always, by my lovely and talented co-host, Kay.
Hi, I'm here.
There you are.
Here.
And Barbie, of course. Oh, there she
She's
goes.
gone.
Never mind what I just said.
She's out.
Listeners, last episode, we talked about some gay movies. And for some reason, I blanked on a bunch of them. Even though right here in my notes from last week, I have a huge list of them.
Is it because I made you play a guessing game of what you were going to get for your birthday?
Yes, but I did guess correctly.
Yeah, you did.
And that's something. We gotta watch that still. Oh, listeners, also apropos of last episode's discussion, Kay watched Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, I did.
And your thoughts?
It was gay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
gay. Yeah.
It was sweet and sad.
And Anne Hathaway.
And Anne Hathaway. I didn't even know.
Yeah. Kay was watching it while I was working from home, and just hearing the music made me get choked up while I was working. Oops.
Highly sensitive.
Too soon, I guess.
Too soon.
Still can't watch that one.
Too soon.
But I wanted to quickly, before we start talking about Exit 8, mention some gay movies that I overlooked that were also instrumental in my childhood.
Homophobic. By not listing them.
One is called Better Than Chocolate. It is not a great movie, but I liked it a good amount. It had my first trans character that I had ever seen in a movie in it. And I really liked that character. That was my favorite part of that movie, even though it's a generally a lesbian romance movie.
It came out before the L word?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you just forgetting about Max?
No, this came out before the L word. I didn't mention Silkwood, which even though gayness is not really a part of the plot, is a movie that has Cher as a lesbian. Also based on a true story about a lady named Karen Silkwood who... Oh, what was that one about? It was like radiation poisoning at her job, and she tries to, I think it was radiation poisoning, something like that. And so she tries to stand up for the people she works
coworkers.
with. Yeah. And I think she ends up getting murdered.
Baby, do your share.
My share?
Yeah.
I don't really have a share.
Come on.
Why does my agent keep signing me up for these chicken shit gigs?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that. Oh, there's one called Pariah, which I liked a lot. I didn't see that one until later, but it did come out kind of earlier, about kind of a tomboyish, masculine black lesbian. High Art, which I didn't like very much, but was one of the first lesbian movies that I saw. There's one that I really loved back in the day that's kind of a riot girl, grungy lesbian story called All Over Me. That one I really liked a lot, and I watched a bunch of times, and it had a soundtrack that I loved with all kinds of good people on it. Patti Smith's on it, Sleater Kinney's on it, just all kinds of artists that I liked back then. There's a movie called Fire, which is an Indian movie. I think it's from the 90s, and that's a really good emotional drama love story. I think we've talked about Saving Face before, but that's a movie that I own now, which is a rom-com, a lesbian rom-com that also stars Joan Chen, and I love her. We've watched that one together.
Sure.
The one about the doctor, and her mom makes her go to those dances.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. there's also Debs, which is a fun, stupid, low-budget action movie with a lesbian love story in it about these four, like, I don't know, they're like Charlie's Angels or something, which is very cute. There was also one called Kissing Jessica Stein that I really liked. I think that's a really well-written movie, and although, spoiler alert, the two characters do not end up together at the end, I think it's a pretty realistic movie about the fluidity of sexuality. And then we also didn't talk about Boys Don't Cry, which is like the trans version of Brokeback Mountain, in that they both make you horribly depressed.
Yeah, I have seen that one, actually.
Unfortunately, that one's based on a true story, and the documentary about that story is just as upsetting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of discourse, especially now, about straight characters and cisgendered characters playing gay and trans characters in movies. And unfortunately, they're just, people wouldn't accept at that time, you know, a trans actor.
Right.
And so we have people like Cher playing lesbians, or people like Hilary Swank playing a trans man.
Yeah.
However, Hilary Swank did a really fucking good job in that movie. That performance was amazing to me.
But there are probably trans actors out there that
They could have pulled it off.
Yeah.
Certainly. And I don't really think of this as a lesbian movie, but casting Charlize Theron, a gorgeous straight woman, as Eileen Wuornos, a very rough-looking lesbian. When I first heard about that, I was like, what the fuck? And it does bother me a little bit when they, like, give these gorgeous actresses, like, the ugly makeover so that they can win an Oscar, but goddamn, she nailed that performance. Just in terms of, like, mannerisms and stuff. As soon as every movement that she made as Eileen Wuornos, I was like, lesbian. Every head movement, every shoulder movement, everything. I was like, lesbian.
She must have had to go deep undercover. Just the nights she spent at the cubbyhole.
Anyway, sorry about that. I just wanted to name some more really good gay movies.
Yeah, you just wanted to flex and be like, I know, I missed 12. They were there the whole time.
They really were, and I'm sorry. If I was going to recommend... Oh, you know what another one that's great is Show Me Love, which is a Swedish movie by a director named Lucas Moodysson, who has made a bunch of really good movies. That movie came out in the 90s. It's depressing, but in the end, it's ultimately really sweet. It's a high school or maybe even younger kid. It's really good. So that's another one I recommend. Homework for all of you. All right, so in other news, let's start talking about this movie that doesn't have anything to do with queer anything.
Yeah.
Instead, video games. Fatherhood anxiety. Empty corporatization of culture. Let's start talking about Exit 8, shall we?
Let's get into it.
Okay. This is rated PG-13. First PG-13 movie we have done in ages, actually. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 35 minutes. This movie was directed by Genki Kawamura. It was written by Genki Kawamura and Kentaro Hirase, based on the 2023 video game by a group called Kotake Create. It stars Kazunari Ninomiya, Yamato Kochi, and Naru Asanuma. It premiered at Cannes, May 19th of last year. It was released, just a limited release in US theaters, April 10th of this year. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is 92% fresh with critics and 86% fresh with the audience. Very high.
Yeah.
Very high. It is a very simple premise. If you are familiar with the video game, it is the exact same. In this one, I guess 3 people are trapped in this. 3 people that we follow are trapped in this subway station, which defies physics, where they need to follow a particular pattern to escape. Our main guy, his name is just the Lost Man. That's what they call him.
Test.
And he is a young adult who is a temp worker, has an ex-girlfriend who has just called him to tell him that she is pregnant and wants his input on what she should do.
I'm so sorry. I think you meant to say pregante.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So she's pregante, and she Googled, could I be pregnant? And it sent her to the clinic, and so she's there. And this guy was on his way to work. He also has kind of a weird morning where he's in a crowded train car and this lady has her baby with her, surrounded by a bunch of businessmen, and the baby is crying, and this guy in front of her just flips out on her and starts screaming in her face. And he feels really awkward, but he doesn't do anything about it.
Put those headphones right back in. Goodbye.
Yes.
Noise canceling.
With those things, and you also see him like flipping through his phone and seeing some stuff about, you know, the world today that is making him kind of paranoid or depressed, just like everybody else.
Ears on rats.
Yeah.
Ears on rats.
Things like that. So all of this taken together, he is in this corridor and he realizes that it seems to be kind of a Mobius strip. He cannot get out of it. And he keeps seeing the same shit over and over again, including like the same guy walking past him over and over again. And what he finds is there's a little sign, just like in the video game, that gives you the rules of this place.
4 rules.
That's it. If you see something that's anomalous, turn around. If you don't see something that's anomalous, keep going. That's basically it.
That's it.
So then he tries to do that. And so there you go. It's a very simple premise. The video game, you can basically finish it. We did it in about 20 minutes.
Second
time we
after
played
we
it.
watched the movie.
Yes.
Before we watched the movie, I hated it. I said, this is stupid. I don't even know what it's asking me to do. Whatever. If I was in the actual thing, I would get it wrong a lot of times before I figured out how to do it. After we watched the movie, bam, bam, bam. Anomaly.
I knew you weren't going to have the attention span to do the game.
Without having the cheat of watching the movie.
Yeah, I did the game. I got up to like, I don't know, 4 or 5, but then I got frustrated because I missed something, and so I quit.
Yeah, but watching the movie made me want to play the game. Yes, it is my competitive nature. I was like, I get it now. Let's do this.
Right. And it's hard, too, when you play it without seeing somebody do a walkthrough or something, because you don't know how closely you have to look at everything. So this guy, our main character, the Lost Man, he goes through and there's a series of posters on his left and there's a series of doors on his right. And so he's naming all that stuff off. And you do the same thing when you play the game. And it's kind of, to me, a credit to the movie that after, just as it starts to get old, they switch POVs to someone else.
Right.
And that's done twice.
I think it's very interesting, too, though, the things that each character is focusing on. I mean, they have the same general premise. Obviously, the whole way looks the same. But, like, one of them is, you know, looking at each poster and saying, this is what this poster says. The other one is just like, yeah, there's 7 posters.
Right.
And
although that ended up helping us when we played.
Yeah.
Because I didn't catch that, and you were like, wait a minute, there's only 6. Or no, there was an extra.
In the game, there's only 6. In the movie, there's 7. So when I counted 7, I was like, uh-oh, no, this is an anomaly. You're like, what? No, the posters, there's 7. I was like, in the movie, there's 7.
And the fun thing was that anomaly
was exactly taken from the movie, or exactly put into the movie, right. I guess.
Yeah.
So it was very familiar to us because we just saw it in the movie.
About 100 times.
About 100 times.
And one of the things they have in there is a poster of an MC Escher exhibition, which is very cute and winky because,
in the movie, but not in the game.
Right, in the movie, but not in the game. Which is cute because MC Escher did a lot of, like, infinity-type drawings with, like, crazy Mobius strip style, patterns in them. And the one that they show in the movie is one with, like, ants crawling over an infinity symbol, which is basically the number 8, which is
right.
Another reason why it's cute that it's exit 8 is the one.
Right.
Yeah, this is kind of a gimmick movie, like a Groundhog Day. And I tend to really like those. I tend to really like when TV shows do those, like the Buffy one, where the day kept repeating on her, stuff like that. I generally like gimmicky stories like this. What do you think?
I'm just going to keep harkening back to the fact that I loved that it's gamified. Like, I loved being like, I know what's going on. Let me scream at the TV and tell you what you're doing wrong. I loved it.
I like movies that are participatory like that.
And also, because everything was so close, then it kind of like makes your brain flip and you're like, no, I'm 100% sure that something was different even when there wasn't something different. Like, it just made me feel like if I was doing this, I needed that little baby to help me. I needed that child. 2 eyes are better than 1, I guess, or 4.
And it just goes to show how much better children are than adults at video games. Right?
Sure. Sure.
You need a kid for this, maybe.
Yeah.
And I liked that they very, very smartly, in my opinion, showed things that were anomalous that he misses a few times. Well, that a couple characters miss.
Right.
Like there's a scene where all of the fluorescent lighting that's normally on the sides is just like random all over the ceiling. Line, yeah. And things like that, which I think are really cool because you're screaming at the TV. And I think this would have been really fun to see in a theater because everybody would have been screaming.
I don't think I would have been able to contain myself.
Well, we generally talk to the screen. Yeah. Not like obnoxiously, I wouldn't think. But yeah, personally, I think that this is one of the better video game adaptations that I've ever seen. I mean, admittedly, I haven't seen like the Sonic ones, the Mario ones. I don't know what those are like, the Lego ones.
Yeah.
But I think it was really kind of smart to take something this simple and adapt it into a movie. And I think that the way that the story that they chose to give their main character, I thought was compelling and went really well with the idea of this area because the guy is worried about, something that's going to drastically change his routine.
Right.
And so there's a lot that can be drawn from this that isn't just something that they put in there that doesn't have anything to do with this crazy place.
And all 3 of them are kind of like following a similar storyline. You've got the lost man, who's our main character, who had just gotten this call, potentially about to be a father. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the walking man, who specifically says, I'm about to meet my son today for the first time.
Right.
And then you've got the little boy who says, I don't know who my father is.
Right.
It's just like very specific, like 3 different generations of people trying to combat the same thing of like, being lost, not knowing what the next route is supposed to be, and also like deciding a thing that's going to change his whole life.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I think it was really smart. I think maybe they give you a little too much story. Maybe a little too much.
That's insane. There's no story at all. Like, I think that the actual moving of the plot is just through the actual movement of the people. Like, the story itself doesn't have a lot to it. Am I going to get to the hospital? The end.
Yeah.
The rest is like what you are interpreting. Not
Do you
really
think,
said.
though, that it is too single-minded on the fatherhood thing?
No, I think it's a very big question. Like, he's not even with that it's
Right.
his ex. So this is a pretty big deal.
Right.
Just starting off his day, trying to go to work, and get stuck in this crazy hallway where he has to, man up, become the father that he needs to be, or not. I mean, the ex is not like saying we have to figure this out. Like, it's just like, what should we do?
Right. And also, there's the whole thing that bookends the movie with him in that situation with that person yelling at the lady. And it's kind of a, do you want to continue doing what you're doing and not notice that stuff? Or do you want to step up and...
Yeah.
And will you remind me to talk about that when we get into spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't know about you, but I have had this feeling before, especially in an IKEA. I've had it before.
Being trapped.
Like, where it's like, I think something's wrong. I've gone this way before.
I guess I'm just gonna be lost in here forever. This is how I live now.
It's interesting to me that we're doing 2 episodes in a row that are so rooted in the terrors of liminal space. Something that we didn't talk about last episode that I think I'm surprised that I didn't bring up is David Lynch's influence on liminal space in film. I think a lot about Eraserhead when we watch this, because that movie is also about, I haven't shown that to you yet because I know you'll hate it, but that movie is also about someone being super freaked out about the prospect of fatherhood.
Ah.
And he has a lot of industrial spaces in that, and in almost everything he makes, there's this kind of, there are these shots of an empty space giving you the kind of anxiety that something bad is going to happen, making those spaces into like a portal.
Sure.
Where something bad can happen. That's a big theme in Twin Peaks with the Black Lodge. And some of the visuals in this made me think about David Lynch. And the subject matter made me think of Eraserhead big time. What did you think about the opening of this being in first person? Were you scared as well?
I hated it because it just reminded me of all of the video games that I have to control the camera angle myself, and I'm so bad at it. I'm like, oh god, I hope this doesn't stay like this. I will hate it. But it switched over nicely. It wasn't like a clunky from first position or point of view to, overhead.
I think it stops being first person when he realizes he's lost. Is that right?
I think it's right as he's getting out of the train. It goes from his eyes to like you can see him walking out of the train.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was a little scared because I knew you were gonna, if it was like that the whole way through, like that movie Hardcore Henry or things like that where it's all POV, I think you wouldn't have hung in there.
No, I don't think I would have either.
Yeah, you would have been done. I could have probably done it, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. Plus, I liked his reactions. I mean, at the beginning, he was like so way over the top, and I love that. I don't know if some sort of deciding that he is ready to become a father kind of made him internalize his emotions more, because at the end, like he was very subtle.
I think maybe he wanted to try and evoke him growing up somehow. I don't know,
I'm just
taking
saying
responsibility.
The difference between him flailing around on the floor, mouth open, like he's, walking the wall in the birds, to like just a little chin up and a tear.
Yeah.
Quite different.
I think that the cast was quite good. The businessman was very creepy.
Oh my God, that smile.
He did a great job with that.
Smile.
And I think that the lead, the Lost Man, I liked him.
Yeah.
It did bother me a little bit that his asthma was such...
He grew out of his asthma. What?
Yeah.
That's scientific. Stop questioning it.
Okay.
When you grow up...
It was only a factor at the beginning of the movie, and then it stopped.
It's a phase that he was going through.
I see.
Once he threw down his backpack, he realized he didn't need... I can't even.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that pissed me off too. Especially because, like, I need an inhaler. And so
Right.
I know that feeling of,
Right.
like, I can't catch my breath. I need this. And so for that to happen 6 times at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And then just never happen again, I was just like, well, that's not how that works.
Yeah. I think the CGI in this was really bad. There's a scene which is also in the game where Shining style, Overlook Hotel style, like a bunch of blood comes, and it's like a tidal wave of blood, and it looked awful.
Are you talking about when the water broke at exit 7?
No, I'm talking about blood. There's
Oh.
blood in it too, like the blood that's falling through.
Yeah, it's
I
not
guess
a
it
tidal
wasn't
wave.
a tidal
It
wave
was
in
coming
this.
from the yellow exit 8 sign, and then there was like some muck coming from one of the vents on the right.
Well, it looked fake as shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And there's also a point where he is besieged by CGI rats with
Ears
and
and
eyeballs
nose.
and noses grown on them, which is something that they do for people, and it's gross. And I can see being scared of that, and it's showing up in some kind of liminal space that's messing with you, but they looked like shit.
Yeah. And you know what? I would have run away from them way faster than he did, because he's dumb.
There is also that. There's the fact that even though he knows the rules very well, as the audience does, when he sees an anomaly, he investigates
He has
it.
to go up and poke it.
Instead of turning around and walking the other way, which is literally the only instructions he was given.
And after the first time, you know that, like, it'll just go back to normal. So why are you staying in this horrifying place that these anomalies are happening? There's, like, screaming babies. There's alarms sounding. There's, blood washing down. There's crazy rats.
Turn around and
I'll
go.
just stay with this. I'll just stay with this.
If you're walking down a hallway...
It goes pitch black.
and a door has never creaked open, and then it creaks open, turn around!
Turn around.
However, that's why you can get through the game in 20 minutes. And
This movie wasn't longer than 20 minutes.
that being said, as much as I think it's a good adaptation and I like the way they developed it and I like the way that they changed POVs, it does still feel long to me.
I don't know. I liked... This is going to sound stupid. I liked getting frustrated at him for investigating. Because I don't know. Yeah, that does feel like human nature. That does feel like, even if you know the rules, a baby is crying in this locker, I'm going to, like, try to figure out which one the baby's in.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
I really enjoyed the walking man story, or the businessman, or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked that interlude, and I liked the,
The teenage girl.
yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah.
That was creepy. And how they distorted her voice and stuff.
Yeah.
I think this does a nice job of being creepy for being PG-13. This would be a good movie to show tweens and teens.
I don't know that they would I don't think that they would get the gravity of it.
No, but I think that they're more attuned to video games and that it would probably appeal to them because of
Sure.
that.
Yeah, I don't think anything was super too creepy that would mess anyone up.
No. There's a really neat thing in the game where, and I don't think we saw it in our playthrough, but I saw it when I played it before.
Tile guy?
Yeah. There's this crazy see-through person that you see as just like a weird silhouette on the subway tiles. And I was hoping that would pop up, but it probably was difficult to make.
Sure.
And as badly as the other special effects were handled, it's probably wise that they didn't.
Yeah, I liked being able to find the Easter eggs in the game after we watched the movie, but yeah, I think that they made a good choice on the ones that they did move over to the movie, just like the eyes moving in the posters, and like the door handle in the middle of the door, and they did attainable ones,
right?
And I think that is probably the correct way to go.
And the smiling guy being behind him and stuff like that. Yeah. Did you like the ending without spoiling it?
I think that they left it open. I could see, arguments for both sides.
Me too.
So I like that it's open-ended.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder, are you coming around a little to endings that are ambiguous?
I guess so, but I think it's more so I'm just going to pick the one that I think it is, and other people can feel their own feelings. It's fine. We don't have to agree.
No, certainly not. Okay.
But at least it did not tell me, this did not happen.
Right.
I'm okay with that. Wow, look at me growing. I'm ready to be a father.
Excuse me. What do you think that you would like to rate this?
4.5. I loved it. I loved it.
Very good.
I freaking loved it.
I've been going back and forth. After we finished it, I was thinking 3.5. I think maybe 4.
All right.
I think maybe 4. Like, thinking about it more afterwards, I really thought they did a nice job adapting this.
I also saw some stuff online about, like, culturally more specific influences that were put into the movie, like, as a Japanese movie, which I do not feel confident in speaking about, but I do encourage you to go look it up. There's, like, reasons why she was calling him in the first place, because the man has, ultimate say in abortions.
That blew my mind when you told me that.
Yeah.
They need a father's consent, Kay was saying, in Japan before they will perform an abortion.
So it's not even just like she's calling to ask his opinion. She's like stuck at the hospital. Like she cannot leave until they decide what they're going to do. And that's like a whole nother layer. And like, yeah, go look it up. It's very interesting. There was things about babies being left in the lockers that you heard that baby crying in. Like that's actually a thing there too.
And is that because women are not able to get consent, so they're forced to give birth?
Right, but they don't have, like, how in America they have, like, the safe places where you can leave them at a hospital or a fire, whatever, that for no fault on the mother. They don't have those there because abortion is not as taboo. So they don't have
no excuse.
Right, they don't have these safeguards put into place, so then that ends up having babies left in not safe spaces.
Interesting. Huh.
I might be getting all of this wrong. I've never been to Japan, but this is just from what I've been reading online, which just adds more, depth to the movie itself, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that it probably resonates maybe a little bit more with Japanese audiences in terms of the kind of the corporatized culture there.
Oh, sure.
And
being in these jobs that you're doing literally the same thing every day, getting on your commute, like working crazy amounts of hours.
The repetitive nature of it, the commuter culture. And I guess this is a pretty well grossing movie in Japan. It's very popular there, or it was.
Sure.
And I was really impressed that this made it to Cannes too. I can't think of another video game adaptation movie that has been at Cannes, so that's kind of cool. I wish I could tell you to see this in the theater. Unfortunately, it is not playing in theaters anymore. I would suggest, if you could, to watch this with a couple people.
Yeah, for sure. Make the game play. Because there was also parts in the movie that neither of us caught what had happened, and they were back down to 0, and we're just like, well, at least I was like, I think that would be the most frustrating part, is like you're going through, you think there is no anomaly, and thus you are doing the correct thing of not turning around, and then, oh shit, you're back at 0. I missed something. Like, that would be so freaking annoying.
Yeah, that's why I quit playing the game one night. Because it was like, not only was I looking for all the same things that the character was, but I was reading all those posters and making sure that none of the like numbers changed on them and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I didn't need to do in retrospect, but I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah, no, I got like hyper fixated on things in the movie too. Like that there's that one sign that's telling people to keep to the left. For the like flow of traffic, I was like, I know it's gonna say keep right one of these times. No, it never did, but I was so sure, so I just like had to clap that every single time.
Well, yeah, and one of the first things when I first played the game was that line on the floor that you're supposed to follow was moved in the game. So then for the whole rest of the time I played it, and the whole time we watched the movie, I was looking at those lines. But then it never appeared again like that.
Right. And the difference between the game and the movie, they also added the lockers in the photo booth and the...
Yes.
I think probably just to have a couple more anomalies available for them.
I mean, yeah, they had to have the lockers for the baby stuff.
Right.
And then also, probably they wanted us to think, oh, there's going to be somebody under that pile of shit at some point. That's what I thought.
Sure.
And then to not do it, I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And mean.
And also mean.
Yeah, I guess this director, who to my knowledge hasn't done another horror movie, but he made this movie where, it's an adaptation actually of a novel that he wrote about somebody with dementia. And he has a bunch of different perspectives in the movie in order to depict what it's like to have dementia. And I think it's interesting that he's made another movie where perspective and that kind of thing matters. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a pretty creative director. I also really liked something else they added to the movie that is not in the game is the musical cues in it.
Every time that you get past that yellow sign, it does the same cue. I like that repetitiveness of that, yeah.
There's also the fact that our main character at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie is listening to this classical piece called Bolero, which you would know if you heard it, listeners. And the thing about that piece is that it's all about repetition. It's like a 16-note thing. And the whole song is just repetitions of those notes. So it's a very cute little wink that I think is very clever.
Yeah.
Also, it's a fun song. And I felt really smart because as soon as it started playing, I was like, what is that called? And I got it. And Kay was sitting next to me, so I could actually have proof that I knew it without looking it up.
Yeah. A little brag.
Yeah.
A little braggadocious.
And I said, how did I get so goddamn cultured? Honestly.
Sometimes I surprise even myself.
All I did growing up was watch television. All of it comes from TV, I think. Anyway. Let's get into spoilers. We both recommend this.
Yes.
It is currently available to rent for $5.99. I think it's going to be on AMC Plus and Shudder soon, but $5.99. Come on, just rent it.
Yeah.
I liked it a bunch.
All
It's
right.
a nice companion piece to Backrooms.
So, my first question.
Spoiler time.
What is your thoughts on the weird time warpy situation that's going on in these tunnels? Because it's revealed that this boy that is helping him is also his future son.
Most likely.
Well, his ex-girlfriend comes and the little boy says, "Mom, mom, mom,
Right,
mom,
right.
mom." So, like, whether he did or did not get out of this purgatory, she did end up having the kid.
Right.
So, what about the walking man? Is he also is that
he him in the future?
in the future?
I wondered the
didn't
same.
get out.
I don't know. I thought maybe it shows that he didn't learn his lesson, because also at the end of the movie,
He goes down.
the same thing happens.
Right.
He sees the lady again,
Yeah.
getting yelled at again, and he doesn't do anything again.
Right. And there is one point where he is walking the corridors, opens a door, looks through the door, sees himself on the subway.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe that it is also still in the perpetual loop. He didn't make it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the child made it out.
Yeah.
I think that the child made it out, and we wisely don't follow him out.
Right.
I think he did it. I think the lost man did not. I think maybe... I don't know if maybe he made it through the game, had a chance to fix what he'd done wrong in the first place, didn't do it, and then eventually, years later, finds himself back in that area. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's hard to say. I loved the shot of after the tidal wave. He saves the little boy, puts him on top of that exit 8 sign, and then after the water is gone, the little boy's laying on the ground in the fetal position, looking like he's in a womb with the circle of debris like away from him. I loved that shot.
That was very good.
Where did all that crap come from? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But the little boy knows it's an anomaly, so he's going to turn himself around and walk out the other way.
And we didn't really mention what happened with the businessman, the walking man.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that?
So he was also with the little boy, but he was not listening to the little boy at every turn. Annoying.
He missed the middle
So
doorknob.
He missed the doorknob. He's back at 0. They're starting walking again. He gets to 6, and there's a stairway going up. And he is just like, this is the exit. I've done it. And the little boy's like, you're a dumbass. This is the 6th. Meanwhile, the little boy's mute for him. He does not ever talk to the walking man. But he grabs him by the arm and tries to stop him from going up the stairs.
Right.
Because little kids know about video games and he knows what's what. So
Yeah.
he's trying to stop him, but the walking man does not stop. He leaves the boy, says, this is the exit. I know what I'm doing. I don't care what you do. And goes right up. But that's what ultimately ends him in hell, which is the lost man is the little words that made was test, and the walking man, the words that made that was hell.
What are you talking about, words that made?
You know how they did the title of the character, and it said test for the walking man. No, test for the lost man. And then it said
The way that
hell.
the title screen comes up for
Yeah.
the two of the characters. Okay, so we'll have to explain that to them, I think, in
Okay.
case they...
Can you explain it better? Do you remember what it is?
So they're title cards that announce
whose
chapter we're
storyline
in.
we're following. Yeah.
So the first is the Lost Man, the second's the Walking Man, and then I don't know what the child is. It just the child or something?
think it's just
or
the
the
boy.
boy. Do you remember what the letters were? And so they do it by having letters appear slowly. And what Kay is explaining is that the first guy,
Our main character.
the letters spell test first before they
Right.
spell the Lost Man.
Right.
And then for the Walking Man, the letters spell hell before they resolve into the Walking Man.
Yep.
So it gives you a clue, which I did not pick up on. Good job.
Yeah. The boy, I don't think they said. I
It
don't
didn't
think
do
it
it?
had any words.
Okay.
It was just the boy.
But yeah, I did read it the same way you did, where I felt like that was his kid.
Right.
And the Walking Man was probably him later in life.
Yeah, I don't know. The way that I chose to interpret it is that he did, with his little tears and his little chin up, as he heard the man yelling at the woman with the baby on the train the second time around, I think that he changed his heart and he went over and stopped it.
You do?
I think so. I think I don't understand why his exit 8 was down. Because you would think he was trying to get up out of the station.
I know.
But he did go down back to the platform, I guess, to go to the hospital.
Right.
Like,
I think so.
where he was going before would be to work. It's not in the same spot as the hospital, so he went down to the platform to get back on the train.
I would think.
So that's how I'm choosing to he did it. He's getting out. He's going to
And
his
he has another
ex-girlfriend.
chance. And you're saying, because how long after do they cut? They basically show the same thing happening, but we see his face.
Right.
You think he was like girding himself to go yell at that guy.
Right.
I hope you're right.
That's how I'm choosing.
I took it to mean he didn't learn anything and he was going to be stuck.
Yeah. Well, the baby gets born.
Yeah, regardless.
Good for her,
I guess.
I guess.
I saw some critiques on Letterboxd about this being a anti-abortion propaganda movie.
Yeah, I don't think.
I
don't
didn't
think
read
so.
it like that at all.
I don't think so. Also, I can't believe that little baby is also getting tested. I'm glad that he did get out, but like his backstory was he was in the subway with his mom and he was being a little trickster and he was hiding from his mom and then got lost, and that's how he found his way on the.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe not everybody's tested. Or maybe they're not tested.
Well, he wasn't an anomaly, so that means he has to be a human, so that means he is being tested.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not like a test of your morality. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
What about the teenage girl?
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought that she was the woman on the train, but I didn't see anyone mention that, so maybe I thought after I met her, when we went to the second round of the woman being yelled at, her like leggings that she was wearing underneath the skirt looked the same to me, and I was like, is that the same? Is that the teenage girl?
I wonder. If that's the case, it gives me kind of a Wizard of Ozzy kind of thing, where all of this came from him having a weird dream on the subway or something. You know what I mean?
Dreaming, standing up.
Like, the kid is him being nervous.
But he didn't know.
He didn't have the phone call then.
He
You're
didn't
right.
know about
You're
the
right.
baby until he got off the train.
That's true. But still, I mean, you could interpret her being the same character as, this just... He got stuck in there after he got the call.
Right.
He put it all together in his brain. But then again, that shit wasn't happening to him.
Right.
It was happening to the Walking Man.
Her yelling at the Walking Man, oh, everything is the same. You're just going to work every day. It's all cyclical. But then he took her spot. So, like, maybe she was the last one that didn't make it out. and then the walking man took his spot. Because the main character never met
saw her.
her.
Right.
She was gone before main character got into the
Right.
tunnel.
Right. And they do little things to help us figure out when things are in time, because they show a little cut on the boy's face, or a little like floor burn on his face.
Poor baby.
Yeah, poor little thing.
That's when he was trying to get the walking man to
stop.
not go up the stairs.
Right.
And then the main character is like, that man's not human anymore.
Listeners, let us know what you thought of Exit 8.
How
if
did
you've
it end?
seen it. Tell us what you think about the ending.
We are on either sides of the coin over here.
Yeah. But that's nice. That's why I like ambiguous endings. And now Kay does too.
Because I could say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Suck it.
You know how to get in touch with us if you would like to lend us your thoughts on this one. You can email us at thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us messages on our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads. You can comment on YouTube. I had someone suggest putting like titles visually on our podcast episodes that are on YouTube, and because of the way that they get posted automatically from Squarespace to all of the places that use our RSS feed, I'm not able to edit those, like even to put text over them. So I don't know how to do it, guys, unless I stop the automatic uploads to YouTube and edit each video, or create each video and then upload them. And that's a bit more work than I might want to take on these. So I'm not sure if I can do that or not, and I'm sorry. But I am still looking into it. FYI.
A little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. Also, we went to see Lockbox last night. That is one of 2 movies that have been made based on stories from Knife Point Horror. And unfortunately, Lockbox was not a good adaptation. And I'll just leave it at that. And I'm sorry to report that, because I really wanted it to be good. I don't know who I think would be able to capture the feel of Knife Point Horror stories, but I don't think this director was the person. Or I think maybe the fault lay more with the screenplay, honestly. Because the people that they cast were good. I like all 3 of the main actors. I didn't realize it also had Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps and American Mary, but it did. And she did a good job. They just didn't give them good material to work with, unfortunately. So, what have you been reading?
I just finished Decomposition Book by Sarah Van Oss, and it was really good.
That was the one that you loved, but it's her first book, right?
It's her it's her debut novel, so I don't have any more by her, but I will be awaiting her next book because I can't wait. I think she's a very entertaining writer. There was a lot of comedy in it. The premise itself is this girl is like kind of taking a sabbatical off because of personal things in her life. She finds a dead body. The dead body has a composition book next to it where the girl had written down, the last couple months of her life because her and 2 other friends had gotten lost in the forest. And so it kind of is telling their story of how they were surviving. And meanwhile, this girl is like, yeah, I'm definitely going to call the cops to take care of this body. But I feel like she should get to rest in peace until she is decomposed and just bones because it's not...
Why?
It's not a murder. you could tell she knows because what was written in the book that she had just succumbed to
Like she
the elements.
exposure or something.
Yeah. So she's like, it's not a murder. The only thing that I'm keeping from this body is like her family knowing.
Yeah.
What happened to her. But
And
she
her
still
excuse
feels
is she wants to read the.
she wants to like give this girl, a moment to rest in peace while it decomposes before like all of the Emmy and everyone gets in there, the cops get in there and like starts fucking around with her body.
That's stupid.
Whatever, that's the premise. That's what her brain is telling her.
So she just wants to chill.
To like, be a witness and she visits the body every day as it's decomposing, even though it smells.
She sounds like a creep.
Yeah. Anyways, it's very funny. It's very good.
Is she a creep?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Listen, not everyone has their brains in the right place. I'm just telling you what her reason was.
Okay, you're right.
To stay with that body.
That's serial killer behavior, going back, visiting bodies.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And she knows it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's a real creep.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was the name of the author again?
Sarah Van Os? O-S. Sarah Van Os.
That sounds very interesting.
What are you reading?
I am reading another Josh Malerman book. There are only a few I haven't read, but I'm reading now Black Mad Wheel, which is a period novel that he wrote about this band from Detroit that served in World War II as like part of the band. And then they get called back into the army to investigate this sound in an African desert that produces like a physical reaction in people who hear it and also makes weapons not work. So they tried to detonate a nuclear weapon, and because of this sound, nothing happened. None of their guns work, nothing. So they go to investigate it. And so far I'm liking it. I'm about 200 pages in. And I generally like Josh Malerman books. I think that his stories, I think his ideas are more interesting sometimes than his writing style is good. But
now I do have a question. Was that specific tone also the poop tone? Did everyone immediately shit their pants when all of the weapons stopped working?
The poop tone?
Yeah.
I think some people, he throws up every time he hears it. So probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard of the throw up tone, but I know about the poop tone.
What is the poop tone, babe?
It's literally just some sort of like hitting one tone that'll just make you expel.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense, though, because there's, like, resonant frequencies, right? Like, couldn't Ella Fitzgerald famously break a glass?
Yeah.
Because, yeah. And I'll never be surprised that the army or governments are developing crazy fucking weapons.
Sure.
I just listened to an episode of a case file about all of the anthrax attacks that were happening in the U.S. right after 9/11.
Sure.
And that was really interesting. And I didn't ever find out that they eventually tracked that down to a U.S. weapons, like a U.S. governmental lab.
I listened to a couple episode docu-series podcast on that about the guy that they thought it was because...
Who was just a fucking creep. Just a religious nut.
Yeah.
Who tried to blame it on Muslims.
Sure.
Anyway. So Black Mad Wheel, I'm enjoying it. So far it isn't one of my favorite Josh Malerman books. I still think that Bird Box is probably his best book, and I also liked Goblin a lot more than I thought I would.
Eventually you'll read Confessions, and then we can finally freaking talk about it.
As soon as I finish the book club book, I will read confessions. I'm sorry. These things happen. For our next movie. This one seems really weird, and I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm very intrigued by it. And you might be expecting us to see Evil Dead Burn, which is in theaters July 10th, but honestly, that trailer looked awful.
I don't want to.
And I didn't want to either, so... Listeners, if you have a burning desire for us to see that one, let me know. I mean, I'll go, but we decided to opt for a different movie for this one. So we are doing Buffet Infinity, which is a weird series of commercials for a fictitious town and their local businesses.
Competing businesses.
That somehow tells some kind of Lovecraftian story. And it seems really interesting.
Seems weird as fuck, and we're into it.
Yeah.
Explicit.
Crazy Canadian weirdness. And I'll always be down for that. So that's what we're watching. Buffet Infinity. You can rent it for $4.99 currently.
Are you out of your mind?
$4.99? So we hope that you do, and that you meet us back here in 2 weeks to discuss it. I will also let you know that there is a release date now for the new Jane Schoenbrunn movie, the one with Hannah Einbinder and Gillian Anderson. So we're going to be doing that one coming up. I don't know if it's our next episode. It comes out August 7th, so right around there. I
Wherever
think
that falls.
the 10th or something, or 11th will be our episode on it. Very exciting. So we hope you'll join us back for Buffet Infinity and for Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, which I already am getting tired of saying. It's a very long title.
We'll just have to make it into
An acronym of some kind, yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time.
I was like, did you forget that?
I did, yeah.
What am I supposed to say here?
And until next time, this has been episode 305. I have been Amy.
I've been Kay.
Thank you. Good night.
Hail Satan.